anyone else
slap you right now?
If anyone else touches me,
what if I was to slap you right now? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, go on, go ahead.
Yeah, talk about my dad. Stop
You
moaning
put your
about
hands
it.
on me.
Stop moaning about it. A little push and a shove. Stop moaning about it. You done up talking about my dad.
Me and you up by taking
Yeah.
That's right.
Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn nearly clashed again in a heated exchange on Piers Morgan Uncensored forcing security to step in. Their long-standing rivalry has escalated to new heights, and this intense showdown proves their feud is far from over. Tensions have been brewing for weeks. At their recent Manchester face-off, Eubank Jr. smashed an egg on Benn's hand, igniting chaos before security had to intervene. The British Boxing Board of Control responded by hitting Eubank Jr. with a hefty £100,000 fine for his actions, but he didn't seem fazed. Instead of showing remorse, the 35-year-old took to social media with a bold three-word response that made his stance crystal clear. Asterisk worth every penny asterisk.
Sky Sports Box Office in the UK and Ireland.
What you saying?
Saturday.
What you saying?
Ben versus Eubank.
Billy Big Box over here.
No, I just find it funny your name.
What do you find funny?
Yeah, it's hilarious. That's only usually taking this fight.
What are you saying?
That's only usually taking this fight.
What are you saying?
For Chris Eubank Jr., the fine wasn't a setback, it was a statement. He made it clear he had no regrets, sending a message not just to the British Boxing Board of Control, but also to Conor Benn and boxing fans. If anything, the penalty only fueled his fire. With tensions already at a breaking point, this adds even more drama to their April 26 showdown. Their rivalry isn't just about competition, it's personal, rooted in history and unfinished business. Their fathers set the stage, and now the next generation is carrying it forward. Eubank Jr. made that clear when he said, I have something that's been bothering me for years, and I'm going to get it off my chest. This fight isn't just about settling a score, it's about legacy and closure. He didn't stop there. When Nigel Benn admitted he nearly put his hands on Eubank Jr. over the egg incident, things turned hostile fast. Eubank Jr. fired back with a cold warning. If Nigel ever crossed the line, there would be consequences.
I understand the frustration and the heat that you were experiencing a couple of days ago after I egged Conor.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought you actually glassed him, mate. And that's why I nearly got my hand around your throat.
I understand.
Yeah.
But you did put your hand on my neck.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you a pass because of what happened, but I'm just letting you know, if your hand ever touches me again, you won't get it back.
Shut your f***ing mouth. Do you hear me?
No.
Con. Do you hear me? Threaten my dad.
You couldn't look on a
Hey, silly bollocks. Threaten my dad again. Watch what happens to you.
His words carried weight, and the atmosphere instantly shifted. But before things could escalate, Conor Benn stepped in, refusing to let the threat slide. Defending his father, he fired back at Eubank Jr., turning the exchange into an all-out war of words. The tension in the room was unbearable, proving this isn't just a fight, it's deeply personal. Every insult, every threat, every stare down only adds fuel to the fire that will finally erupt in the ring. Conor Benn had reached his breaking point. After weeks of insults and threats against his father, he had enough. The mind games, the trash talk, the back and forth, it all pushed him to his limit. He wasn't interested in words anymore. He wanted to settle this the only way that mattered, in the ring.
Oh, they ain't really got anything to say. This whole thing is just getting on my nerves, to be honest. I ain't got nothing to say. There's no question you can ask me. Eubank, I can't wait to smash your head in. April 26th. I can't wait to smash your head in. Listen, I've heard enough of your voice talking shit this whole time. Again on Tuesday. Just shut your mouth. April 26th, you get...
With pure frustration in his voice, Conor Benn made his intentions clear. He wasn't here for debates or mind games. He was here to fight. The way he spoke left no doubt that this was personal. Shutting down any further discussion, he promised that on April 26, Eubank Jr. would pay the price. The intensity in his words wasn't just hype. He genuinely couldn't wait to step into the ring and settle this once and for all. But while Benn's fiery promise set the stage, his father, Nigel Benn, wasn't about to stay silent. A veteran of the sport, he knows exactly what his son is capable of. While some question Conor's move up in weight, Nigel has no doubts. To him, this fight isn't about size or experience, it's about power, grit, and heart.
100%, I don't see it going past 4 rounds. And where, like, you know, they say like Conor's jumping up 2 weights. Conor walks around at 12 stone. I know my son. And if Liam Smith gave him the problem that he did in the first fight, that's Liam Smith. He don't punch like Conor. He does not punch like Conor, and I know Conor can do 12 rounds.
Nigel Benn made a bold prediction. This fight won't last beyond 4 rounds. He dismissed any concerns about Conor facing a bigger opponent, reminding everyone that his son naturally walks around at a solid 12 stone. Pointing to Eubank Jr.'s struggles against Liam Smith, Nigel made it clear, Smith's power is nothing compared to Conor's. He knows Conor can go 12 rounds if needed, but in his eyes, it won't come to that. His son's aggression, speed, and knockout power will end the fight long before the final bell. Nigel's confidence was unshaken. This wasn't just another big bout, it was a fight he was more certain about than his own legendary battles. Watching Conor train, seeing his power, his hunger, and his determination, Nigel had no doubt about what was coming.
Like I said yesterday or Tuesday, I said I'm more confident in this fight than I had with me and Chris Senior. I just feel that Conor's just going to go out there, mate, and just give it to him, put it on him. And I know he would do that. I'm 100% confident in Conor doing that. I'm so relaxed, so sure.
With complete conviction, Nigel Benn declared that Conor would bring relentless pressure from the opening bell. He wouldn't just try to outbox Eubank Jr., he would overwhelm him. Nigel spoke as a man who had been through the wars himself, knowing exactly what it takes to break an opponent. Unlike his own battles with Chris Eubank Sr., he wasn't hoping for a victory, he was expecting it. There was no hesitation, no doubt. In his mind, Conor wasn't just ready for this fight, he was built for it. Nigel's belief in his son wasn't just confidence, it was absolute certainty. He had already predicted a quick finish, but now he went even further, declaring that Conor wasn't just a great fighter, he was better than him. For a man who had fought in some of boxing's most brutal wars, that statement carried serious weight. Nigel wasn't just hyping his son, he truly believed Conor possessed skills he himself never had.
Actually, the best, a much better fighter than me. I could never box like Conor. I was just going in and have a bang, I just want to have a war. But Conor's got all him in his locker, mate. Every single thing. I'm so confident. I don't see it going past 4 rounds. And it's not even 4 rounds, it's like when Conor catches him. When Conor catches him, so it could be round 1, round 2. I don't see it going to past 4 rounds, and that's my opinion, and that's what I believe. I know what my son can do, and he fights bigger guys inspiring than him that are hard. I just know my boy, and I'm so confident.
Nigel Benn painted a picture of a fighter who had it all: speed, power, intelligence, and the ability to adapt. Unlike himself, who thrived in all-out wars, he saw Conor as a complete package, capable of breaking Eubank Jr. down in multiple ways. Once again, he dismissed any chance of the fight going the distance, doubling down on his claim that it wouldn't last past 4 rounds. To Nagel, it wasn't a question of asterisk if asterisk Conor would win, but asterisk when asterisk he would land the shot that ended it, whether in the 1st or the 4th round. In his mind, Eubank Jr. wouldn't hear the final bell. Nigel's confidence was unshakable, but he wasn't alone in backing Conor to get the job done. His trainer, Tony Sims, stepped in to reinforce that belief, dismissing concerns about Conor moving up in weight. While critics questioned whether he could handle a middleweight clash, Sims made it clear this wasn't a risky leap, it was a natural step.
As you know, Conor's last couple of fights have been at 154, so the 160 ain't too big a jump for him, and he'll be in great condition on the night, and we've obviously got our game plan, and Chris has got his game plan, and as Eddie was saying, it's probably the biggest fight in British boxing.
Sims pointed out that Conor had already been competing at 154 obs, making the jump to 160 far from drastic. He reassured everyone that Conor would be in peak condition on fight night, fully prepared for the challenge ahead. But beyond physical preparation, Sims emphasized the importance of strategy, noting that both teams had their game plans locked in. With the fight being billed as one of the biggest in British boxing history, the pressure was immense, but in Sims' eyes, Conor was built for moments like this. He was ready to silence any doubts when the first bell rang. For Sims, this fight was more than just a test of skill, it was a battle of legacy. With both fighters carrying the names of their legendary fathers, this wasn't just another match. It was the continuation of one of boxing's most iconic rivalries.
It's going to be an absolute fantastic fight. Conor's going to bring that ferociousness to the fight. You know, he's a carbon copy of his dad. Chris has obviously got the experience and a bit of weight on him, and he's a carbon copy of his dad as well. So I think we're all in for a great night of boxing.
It's really interesting to think, to be honest with you. I mean, Conor's going up for 2 weight divisions. He's not fought anyone like the people that Eubank Jr. has fought, at his own weight, let alone 2 weights above. So it'll be very interesting. But Conor has a huge self-belief and drive, to be honest with you. A drive like his dad. The Benn family, I've never seen a family with more drive and determination. So I think everything's pointing at Chris Eubank Jr. But I think might have a sneaky few quid on Conor, to be honest with you. His drive and his confidence and his self-belief is something that I've only ever seen in a handful of people, and he's going to need that, and I think that might be enough against Eubank.
You know what, I'm a little bit torn at the minute, but I'll stick with what I've always said. I think Eubank beats him on points, but I won't be surprised if Conor wins. I think Eubank is firmly on the slide, and I know I get stick for saying that. I also think 160 is hitting him now. He's starting to mention it a few times, so that's why I bring Conor into it a little bit more. But like I said before, that being said, if Conor flattens Chris, I won't be surprised. I won't be like, wow, Conor's just knocked Chris out. And if Chris was the same to Conor, I won't be surprised, because Conor's been down, many times before off journeyman, lesser punches than Chris, so I won't be surprised with the outcome, but I do think it's a closer fight this time.
Too much, Eubanks, wants to probably keep it on the outside as much as he can and use his skill sets to, use his hand speed and his ability to throw counter punches and, punches from different angles. He needs space, or space accommodates him pretty well and favors him pretty well when he has that space to do that. And I would think that Ben would like to take that space away, like to kind of work his way in, and maybe the ability of Eubanks when he's right, when his focus is there, when he's right, to be able to do things in a boxing way on the outside. And I love Ben's style and his approach, I do, where, being aggressive in a responsible way, in a way a fighter should be, with paying attention to, doing it with defense and responsibility of defense, and, just proper way to engage somebody, but the consistent offense, looking to, to engage. I think it's an interesting...
Nothing to suggest, and this is nothing against Conor, he's coming around, there's nothing to suggest Conor can deliver, because no one's seen him in a title fight at Southern, English, British, European. They haven't, and looking at his last performance in America or two that he had while this was going, there was nothing to suggest you could beat Eubank Jr. Now you look at Eubank Jr.'s resume, yes, it's 35, 36, but he was in the World Boxing Super Series against George Groves, a big super merit. He went to Turkey and knocked out Yildirim. Then he ragdolled James DeGale round the ring. He's got that experience, and when he's motivated and focused, we've seen what he did to